These are the emails I saved. You can clearly see I wrote about gang stalking, the left, hinted at abuse of others in these emails. I wrote like this because I kept on changing my tactics to try to get some help. Sometimes I would change tactics, sometimes different people I would try to connect with, or different groups like different churches, or I try to go to not-for-profits, or I try to go for individual people in different areas. I try to go with pastors and priests or whatever. Um, Many people scoffed at me talking about child abuse, human traffickers, the left, gang stalking, and mobbing. It all seemed like it was ridiculous to them. Um, and I guess to tell you the truth, it probably would have been ridiculous to me if I didn't actually experience it. Which is why I kind of understood from where they were coming from. Although I still wish they helped me. I mean, I'm not an idiot. These emails also prove I tried to tell my story to many people and email as many people as I could. In 2009, I started to get a better grasp on what I had gone through and realized how the study of certain books and certain ideas let me get a better grasp on the mobile gulag I was in, and why human trafficking, gang stalking, or also I call the mobile gulag, were done by the same as similar people, and the psychology behind it. I'm not talking about the boyfriend type of trafficking, just some more gang or group type of trafficking that like gangs actually do in their what you'd call just trafficking gangs, where they're not trying to be someone's boyfriend. They just say, "Here, this is what you do, or I beat you up or kill you." You know, there's no, not your boyfriend. You just shut up and take it, kind of thing. This clued me in on why some of the most honored and respected attackers were also some of the ones who hurt the children or had the most, let's say, psychotic, sociopathic, maybe psychopathic. I don't know the proper term. Uh, Parts of their personality. You see that in them. You saw some weird stuff. The mobile gulag or gang stalking also used similar tactics without the bad reputation, and that's what scared me the most. If someone says, "I'm a human trafficker, I bring girls around and sell them for sex," you don't have a lot of people going, "Yay, good job." But when you have this kind of power thing where you can get power for people and you can push people around and you can push the right people around who people don't like, you get a good reputation. But that also means that you can hurt as many children as possible, and the young people or the children won't want to come against you because you're honored, and you can hide in plain sight. This is part of the same email as pick number 10. This is pick number 11. It's about brainwashing and the mobile gulag. Now, why did I ask about it becoming so widespread, or speaking up for others, or let those attack get away with this? I was trying to explain to someone that it could become widespread, and eventually so will the child abuse that goes along with it. But I had to make them believe it would be widespread first, because you're not going to believe the child abuse is going to be widespread first. You got to make them understand the first layer in order to build the building. So I was trying to get them to understand and believe the foundation. Later on, I found out a lot of these people who I was conversing with and was begging to help me or begging to at least understand it. Also, they were part of the attack, and also they were just leading me on. Some of them said that, some of them didn't. But that was very hard to hear, that I had been working so long and put so much energy in people that would never change their mind for any reason. Maybe partly they didn't believe it though too. Maybe partly they thought I was lying. I don't know. So I drew less new people around me because I tried to work so hard on these kind of older people that were around me, or people that I thought might change their mind, or who acted friendly to me, who I thought could believe that it was as evil as I said it was. As evil as I said it was. But they didn't. So my speeches about child abuse and the left were set upon many deaf ears. It seemed almost impossible for people to be so willing to ignore a reproducible attack that would endanger thousands of children and would protect hundreds of child abusers, give them honor in the community, and not just ignore it. Just be like, nah, that will never be reproduced. I was like, no, this is reproducible. That's why they're doing it. I was told we're going to test this on you, and if it works, we'll keep on doing it. And parts of the attack had been taken out and used on conservatives during Obama's administration. So, not only did I knew the child abuse was coming, I also knew parts of these attacks were coming and being more severe. This is just the beginning, guys. This last email was when I healed for a while. It was written in 2011. I was writing to a psychologist. I was trying to explain why I needed help. I wanted to explain why the connections I seemed to make between the gang stalking, leftists, and the child abuse made sense to me. I was trying to get a psychologist to be willing to study me, and study what I know, and understand what I know, and go deeper into it. Because there's so many things that I inherently understand that if I didn't step in these shoes, I wouldn't. I didn't understand before I went through what I went through. And I think that could help a lot of psychologists. But I think most psychologists are so stuck in their leftist ideology that they can't see it from a neutral point of view. And maybe that's why no one's willing to work with me. I don't know. They don't believe leftism could ever create child. A lot of psychologists said, "Oh, there's no way. There's no way child abuse and leftism connect. There's no way child abuse and unions connect." So you have to realize, I try to explain all this to you guys. I hope you understand it. I hope you know. I was looking for proof that the leftist attack would also include child abuse. I was looking at many stories and many times and trying to figure out what I could use to prove my story to be true. I had multiple criteria for this and wanted it to be as Western as possible. And also as new as possible. Because I knew if it happened too long ago, people would just say, "Oh no, that's in the past. That can never happen again." There's no Western stories out there that seem to fit. I needed it to be a story from today, have extreme leftist gang stalking type of attacks as close as possible, and as close as to what I went through. But that also included child abuse. Most of the stories I could find that were in books that were that everyone said happened, that scientists said happened, it was all from like mind manipulation of the 60s, different mind experiments, but none of them had children in them, so I could say if children would be abused or not. I assumed that the leftist, I assumed that in these leftist attacks, child abuse was probable, especially at the higher extreme versions of them. But in my hampered state, my harmed state, I couldn't find any of the stories. I had a hard time getting out there and getting them. But for some reason, I came across either it could have been something on the radio or something, but they were talking about this. I don't remember exactly where it came from. Either I was searching it online or I heard about it on the radio. I was doing a lot of radio searching back then. I talked about Christianity Today and the China's conscience. And it was in 2009, near October. And when I saw this and I read it, it made sense. I'm like, yeah, child abuse would happen at this time. There would be child abuse in this sort of attack. I've seen it myself. I know for a fact. But because I was in China, I was sort of disheartened. Because the last excuse of it never coming to America was still there. But I hope for the best, kind of try to email it. Everyone I talked to, I said, look at this, read this, article, or, whatever. The saddest part, though, a lot of people didn't even read the article. They wouldn't even go in and go, "Oh, okay, I see what you're going through." They just ignore it. be like, you're just crazy, which is very sad. Or you're lying to get something. In my earlier emails, I try to use mind manipulators from a book I read, parts of it, or I also try to use Brainwash, A Secret History of Mind Control by Straightfield or whatever. And I try to explain to them why these is so evil, and what it was similar to my story and how bad the situation I really was in. But to no avail. Because I was trying to do three things. I was trying to get help for myself, enough to tell my story, and get help with children being abused in the situations I was in. But neither happened. Because nobody really cared enough to dig deep enough to search for the truth. And they try to contact people who were actually involved in the attack. So I wonder if people did look and they found out they couldn't find anything because they talked to people who were personally involved or knew someone who was involved, so the word got back to them. I don't think people understand what kind of tendrils people around me have in this community. How close knit it is. It is a scary psychological. If you realize how many people know each other and are willing to act out on the whims of another, wow, it's very scary. It's very weird. Anyway, I hope this, I hope you listen to this, and thanks for listening. Have a good day. Bye.